But if you see another officer doing something wrong, do you stop them? And if it's a supervisor or a higher up or a lieutenant or a chief, or what do you do about that? And I get the position you're in, but you know, this country was formed by brave men and women. And I think we need to bring some of that back. And the only way to do that is, you know, one person at a time. So that's why we're here with our feet on the ground talking to you guys. How's it going, guys? Amagansett Press, and we are coming to you today from Douglas, Wyoming. We've been here in Douglas before, and if any of you have not seen those videos, I'll put a link in the description. But today, we are at the Converse County Justice Center. I am out with Watching the Watchmen today, and we're just going to take a little walk around the Justice Center here and find out if these folks honor and respect our right to take video and photographs in public and from publicly accessible areas of public places. Converse County, this is an interesting situation. Converse County has a population, the entire county, of 13,000 people. And wait until you see this Justice Center, it's enormous. Jail, Justice Center, Sheriff's Office. So we'll give you a tour of the neighborhood. Let me just show you the area here. And time and temperature check. Today is Sunday, January 10th. It is 12:15 in the afternoon and 27 degrees and sunny in Douglas, Wyoming. It's actually a beautiful day out. So yeah, this is an enormous facility. We drove by it last night, and I wish I would have got a picture of it for you then, because it is absolutely beautiful at night. It's a beautiful building. But we'll get a closer look at it during the day. It was Douglas police vehicle. What do you think, Watch? We go right around the back?
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah, might as well go right around the back before they sound the alarms. There are some, I don't know if you could see them here. What are those, antelope?
It looks like it.
Or they're pronghorns, maybe. Can't see, hard to tell from here. I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'll try to zoom in for you. But just beautiful country out here, guys. And I always like to remind you what a beautiful country we live in. And always suggest, if you have the means, if you can do it, get out and travel. Get out and see our beautiful country. Get out and meet the beautiful people that live in this country. Sometimes you get boxed in where you are and forget what's going on outside of your area. And we try to bring a little bit of that to you. But there's nothing like seeing it with your own eyes. So we invite you to come on out and join us. Bring your cameras. Oh, look at this old Douglas police vehicle. Oh, retired senior volunteer patrol. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. So you have Douglas Police Vehicle 232. So you have a communications tower. And then this is the staff entrance here. It's really amazing when you get out west out here. 27 degrees feels like 47.
Man, it's not bad.
Yeah. So here's the staff entrance. Obviously we can't go in this way. Somebody doing a little remote start to let us know we're here. Let us know that they know we're here. So while I have a minute, guys, I just want to thank you all very much for doing your part and standing up for what's right in this world, and also supporting what we do. And you know, I always say I don't have any illusions here that I'm going to change the world, believe me. But if we can make a difference in one person's life, and we go out and make these videos, or more people's lives, if we can give somebody a little information they might need, if we can learn something, if law enforcement that we speak to can learn something, that's all we're looking for, and that's what I call a good day. We also need to make sure our rights are being upheld by law enforcement, which is important, and you got to do these things on the ground, face to face, one officer at a time, and that's what we try to do. And with your support, Amagansett Press is just about to hit 40 million views, lifetime channel views, and we just hit 229,000 subscribers today. And I also want to congratulate Watching the Watchman here. His channel's got over 40,000 subscribers, over 4 million views, and he's doing great. We're having a wonderful time traveling the country together, and spending the time together, and defending what's right, and getting an education along the way, and meeting some fine people and some not so fine people. So just want to thank you for that. We really appreciate it. I guess whoever remote started their vehicle here decided to shut it off. Wonder if it's okay. You think there's anything wrong with it? Is it like turning on by itself? Maybe we should let somebody know inside that this truck seems to be turning on all by itself. Starting, turning on, whatever. How come it has no front license plate? They have front plates in Wyoming. Is it an exempt plate? Nope. So somebody's personal vehicle with no front plate. Interesting. You know, I always thought my car would look better without a front plate, but I can't do that. So I don't know. Let's go inside and ask them. This car's just out here running.
Really love the blue line thing here.
Also, wonder what's in here. This is weird how they have all those rocks like that. Maybe somebody could tell us what that is too.
The rocks are in cages, though.
Yeah, right, keeping the rocks in cages. No doubt. Yeah, let's go around this way. And we always like to take a moment to recognize Old Glory. Not much of a breeze today, but standing proud as she should. Brand new building. Let's see if it's open. Yeah, it is. Huh?
Hi, can I help you?
Yes, hi. Would there be an officer that could come out and speak with us for a minute?
Absolutely. What can I tell them they're coming here for?
I just had a question about Wyoming law.
Okay, just sit tight and I'll get somebody headed this way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, closed weekends and holidays. are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. You?
Officer Lehman?
Yes, sir.
And I'm sorry, Officer Evans? How are you? Good. So I just have two quick questions for you. One is, which I got to ask you, what's up with the rocks being all caged out there? Is there a functional purpose to that, or is that?
You mean the landscaping?
Yeah, the way, you know how they have like those rows of like the broken up.
I think what they were trying to do is they planted some vines.
Oh,
The
okay.
vines are taking forever to come in.
I got you.
And now it just kind of looks the way it does. But the vines are kind of coming up, but now
Gotcha.
you can't see them.
When I first walked by, I figured that maybe they were like going to be used for landscaping somewhere, and they were just storing them. But then it looked like it was more permanent.
Well, that's the landscaping, but it's just
Gotcha.
not fully developed landscape.
Yeah, I don't think it's all grown in yet.
Yeah.
What was it like? Probably all the leftover chips and pieces from when they did the building, I would assume.
Could have been,
I don't
yeah.
Creative use for it, if that's
Sure,
what they did.
sure.
But my legal question for you is, in the state of Wyoming, if I have a vehicle registered here, am I allowed to just drive around with a rear plate, or do I have to have a front plate and a rear plate?
It depends. If your vehicle was not manufactured with the plate holder, then you have it in the back.
Or if it's like a hot rod, it's got a special, there's a special indicator for certain vehicles. If it's manufactured with a front plate, then you'd have to have the front and the back. If it's not, then...
If it's manufactured, because that's like mine, for example, like there's nothing like built into from the factory for the front plate.
Sure.
But I guess the dealership or whoever puts that plastic thing on the front of it, and then you attach it to that. So how do you figure out if that?
It's just the way the statute's written specifically. So it says if it's not manufactured to have a like you said, I don't know what you'd call that,
Like a plate
housing
housing?
for the plate, then you don't have to have a front plate.
Really? And how do the guys
out?
out on the road know for that specific vehicle, make, and model if it's?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, because you probably write a lot of tickets where they shouldn't be written, and then probably don't write some where they should. I don't know how that.
It kind of depends on the officer. I mean, some people, that's what they choose to enforce, and then some, they don't. It's kind of up to their discretion. But you're right, it does make it more complicated.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Absolutely, especially if it's already complicated just because states aren't all the same.
Right.
So some
right.
states, you don't see a front plate and you look, and you're like, well, that's Michigan. I don't know if Michigan has a two-plate law or not.
Right.
So unless you know all 50 all the time, it can be kind of confusing.
I got you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people moving here from other, moving from other states with these vehicles, so.
Did you guys want to come inside, or?
Sure.
You
Yeah, love to
come
come
in if you
inside.
like.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
I'm going to stand in the breezeway here.
No, it's great. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, so that's right. And you know what made me wonder that we came by to check out the facility. We drove by last night, and this place is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have cost a fortune, but it's a beautiful facility, and you guys are fortunate to be able to work here. I wish where I work was this nice. But so we drove by at night, and it was just, I mean, the way it's all lit up and everything, it's really nicely done.
Yeah, it's quite an upgrade from what we had before, and it was sorely needed for sure.
Did you have an real old facility?
It wasn't that it was, it was older, but...
Built in the 1970s, but honestly, there's a lot of technology that's...
Oh, I got you.
From the 1970s to now, so trying...
And you got to weave that stuff through the walls, and
With the sheriff's department here, and then the jail is here as well. So
Gotcha.
The jail's nice and updated, and so it is a nice facility. Dispatch in the sheriff's department, the jail, and then the dispatch center is all here as well. So
all right, cool.
it is beautiful, though.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, no, it's nice. All right, well, that was my question. And the reason I asked you that question is we were just walking around the back, and there's a pickup truck out there that somebody, I don't know if it started by itself or somebody remote started it or something when I was walking by. And that caused me to look at it, and I said, hey, they don't have a front plate. Because you know what it is? I'd love to take the front plate off of my truck.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm always worried I'm going to get pulled over and get a ticket for it.
Yep. It would be easier, if we just did 2 or 1, but...
Is there any possibility that you might be able to print me up that statute? Because I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can if you want to.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then I can look at the actual letter of the statute and just figure out what I can do and what I can't do.
Sure.
All right,
Do you want to go print it? I could try and find it.
You want to...
I might have it on my work cell, actually.
Well, you want it printed though, right? Or like...
I would love to just look at, because you know what, like just like me, when anybody tells you anything, even if you know exactly what you're talking about, that's not the letter of the law. So I'd rather just read exactly what it is. You know what I mean?
Can we just print it off for you or photocopy it?
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No, it's a great community to work in. We have an awesome community. They're very supportive of law enforcement. We're very fortunate for that.
Awesome.
Because it could be
Thank
much
you.
worse.
There you go.
So it's a display of license plates. Cool. Excellent. Well, the last thing I'll ask you, and then I'll let you get back to work, is there any other part of the facility that we can take a look at? Like, is there any other publicly accessible areas?
This is all publicly accessible. Anything that's not is locked up to the key.
Over here.
Oh, okay.
So here's our car.
This goes all the way past. You'll see where the detention center is, all the way to those doors.
Okay.
This is all public area.
Oh, cool. So we can just walk around the public area
Yes,
for a
sir.
minute and get some video and no
Absolutely.
issues? Okay. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys. And I'm going to assume that you probably know what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So that's probably what dispatch was telling you in your ear a minute ago, I would assume.
Well, it was something else, but we always try and listen.
So I hope that, and I appreciate your professionalism and your cordial demeanor and all that, but I hope that is the same way you behave when you don't know what's going on. I mean, you guys know we've been to Douglas before.
Yes, sir.
And we had some interaction with, I believe it was Sergeant Schmidt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And, I hope we left things in a good way. We always try to end things on a positive note. People have, justifiably so, some ideas about people that do First Amendment audits. So I've been really trying hard to come up with a different name for what I do, because I don't like to be lumped into categories where, this is my son. My name's Jason. This is my son, Ben.
Ben, nice to meet you.
And, which you probably knew that already anyway.
No, don't get me wrong. We've seen the video.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, so you
everybody-
recognize this?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay.
I didn't, because I had just pulled in.
Okay.
And then coming up and seeing you, I was like, oh, because I watched the video. I was off that day.
Oh, and you were thanking God you were off that day, right?
So, but I did see it. A lot of people did see it. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I saw you, I absolutely did recognize you guys.
Okay, cool. No, I appreciate you telling me that. No, and you know what? What we're trying to do is we're not out. I think you can tell by the way we behave and the way we behaved in that video. We're not, I don't want to say we don't instigate, because sometimes you do have to, I don't want to say create a situation, but, a simple act of civil disobedience can affect great change. I like to go with that.
Sure.
So what we're trying to do is we're obviously trying to test the waters a little bit. We're trying to push the envelope a little bit. And we're trying to highlight the good guys, such as yourselves, because we're not against law enforcement.
Sure.
I'm not for defund the police or any of that stuff. I think we need law enforcement in this country. I think you guys might need a little, this is a very fast changing world, and things happen very quickly. So I think continuous education and training and policy updates and that kind of thing are needed. And maybe focus should be put on some of that stuff. But we like to go out, we like to highlight the good officers out there, and we like to show that there are, and put you guys in a good light. But you guys have to do that for yourselves. I can't make you look good or bad.
Yeah.
I just memorialize what you choose to do. But then we also enjoy finding the not so nice guys that are out there, because a rhetorical statement, I don't expect you to answer me in uniform, but there are some guys out there that wear a gun and a badge and just do terrible things.
Well, that's everywhere.
Everywhere. There's some photographers that do terrible things. There's some knitting instructors that probably stab people with a knitting needle. I mean, I'm just saying, in all fields,
You're correct.
there's horrible people.
Yeah.
But, somebody needs to try to shine a light on that kind of stuff, because I really believe that the best thing that good police officers can do for yourselves is to police the bad police officers.
Sure.
Because bad police officers get good police officers hurt and killed every day in this country. And that's a travesty. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I don't think there's a law enforcement officer out there that would disagree with that. No officer, no good, I can't say good, I guess, no decent man or woman who works this job wants there to be bad cops or bad officers or bad experiences. I mean, that saying that one bad gives you a black eye, or gives the whole profession a black eye, it's true.
Right.
And
it can, especially with the way the media
Absolutely.
operates these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And the same thing with your, you said your training and education. I don't think there's the same thing. A decent man or woman doing this job that doesn't want more training and education. We thrive on it. We work for it all the time, and it only makes us better. So,
And I get that, and I believe that's the case. But I think what the problem is, and I understand the situation, talk about being between a rock and a hard place, a good officer is really in a difficult spot.
sure.
Because, and I get it 100%. I mean, you join the force. I would imagine that 99 out of 100 police officers that join the force have a heart of gold. They just want to help their communities when they first start out. But then, you get in and people start telling you to do things you don't feel comfortable with, and maybe, and you don't know if you should stand up to that or not. And maybe some guys do and some guys don't. And so that's where I think the problem comes in, because it's very difficult for a good police officer, especially if they're a lower ranking police officer, to call out one of the higher ups. How do you do that? But we rely on you to do that. So, so it's a very difficult situation, and I appreciate the position that you're in. But we ask you to, hold the guys accountable that aren't doing the right thing, because you're the first line of defense for us. Once the average citizen gets into a situation with a law enforcement officer who's not doing the right thing, that's a horrible situation for that citizen.
Yeah.
And if they don't deserve to be there, there's really nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? At the time, maybe you can fight it another day in court. Who knows what horrible things are going to happen to you in jail? Who knows what horrible things could happen to you in custody, other inmates, jailers, so there's a lot that goes on. So it's an enormous responsibility and an enormous responsibility. I mean, that's the word. So we need the accountability to match the responsibility. And that's what we're out. I'm just trying to explain to you what we do and why we do it. So we're not out to stir anybody up. I don't call the police on myself. We don't do those kind of things. But we definitely try to push the envelope because we want to have these conversations with you.
Do you guys travel in just a specific area, or do you kind of go?
No, we've been in 28 states in the past year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of.
Yeah,
It
it is a lot. Yeah, but it really means something to me. Prior to doing this, I've had different careers. I was a hotel manager in New York, but I was a staff photographer for the New York Times years ago. I worked in modeling photography and all kinds of stuff with some very big names. And so on and off for 30 years, somehow I've been involved in photography and video. And I can't tell you how many times my rights have been abused, denied, canceled out on the spot because somebody didn't feel like they wanted me to be doing what I was doing, which I had a perfectly good right. So this is kind of dear to my heart. And when we were trying to figure out how we were going to try to stand up for what's right in this country and defend our Constitution, because that's the priority here, we chose video as our venue because of that. Sure. Because it's something I have experience with and But that's what it's all about. To us, at the end of the day, it's 100% about the Constitution of the United States, which you swore an oath to.
Absolutely.
And it's a very, very difficult decision because, again, rhetorical statement, but if you see another officer doing something wrong, do you stop them? And if it's a supervisor or a higher up or a lieutenant or a chief, what do you do about that? And I get the position you're in, but, this country was formed by brave men and women. And I think we need to bring some of that back. And the only way to do that is, one person at a time. So that's why we're here with our feet on the ground talking to you guys. Cool. Instead of just putting stuff out there. There's some guys that do YouTube stuff that sit home on a computer and just talk to the screen. And we want to be out here meeting and shaking hands. Well, you can't shake hands these days in some places, but bumping elbows, whatever it is. And, we just want to foster good relations between the citizenry and law enforcement. And sometimes what we're doing even gets misunderstood. Yeah. And, we've been put in bad situations over it. But we rely, if you guys are the good guys and you really are who you're coming across as, which I believe you are, we're asking you to, I don't know how much of a problem you have here in Douglas, but I know you go to law enforcement training outside of the area and you go to different meetings and that kind of thing and conventions and whatever. Just have the conversation with people, and just, who knows, maybe all of us will forget about this conversation by tomorrow, but 6 months from now, something might happen, something I said might spark something that might help you one day. Maybe this conversation might remind me of something that'll help me out one day. So we're just trying to have the conversation, walk the walk, talk the talk. And,
absolutely. Do you find that most of your experiences are good or bad, or kind of a variation of both, or is it an even mixture of both? Or?
It's a variation of both. Yeah, because there are some police officers out there who, no matter how hard you try, they're not going to get upset. They're not going to violate your rights, and they're not going to go that route. Sure. And then there's other officers, no matter how hard you try to be a good guy, they're going to treat you like a criminal. So you get both sides of the fence, no matter what I do. I could only try to be as courteous and respectful as I can possibly be, because my goal is to have this conversation. Sure. Some guys don't want to have this conversation. This is a very scary conversation with some law enforcement officers. Yeah. When you're doing the wrong thing and you've been doing the wrong thing for many, many years, how do you have this conversation?
That's true.
Right? Or how do you even listen to it? So, we all have to go home at night. We all have to put our heads on the pillow, and we all have to live with what we do every day. And the most important thing and the big reason, my son's here with me because he chooses to be here with me and he likes doing this together with me. But my secondary thing with that is what kind of a world are we leaving our kids? And maybe absolutely, I'm not going to change the world. Not going to happen. But if we can make a difference in one person's life, if we can put a smile on somebody's face, if we can save somebody from being abused or arrested, or give somebody some information they might need to be able to, maybe somebody in Douglas will see this and has been afraid. I'm just making things up. Oh, sure. But maybe they've been afraid for a while to approach law enforcement because they don't know what kind of reaction, because they need help. And maybe they'll see this video and say, hey, Officer Lehman and Officer Evans seem like, maybe I'll go see if I can speak to them. Sure. You never know. You drop a stone and watch the ripple go. You never know where it's going to go.
It's a very similar theory in law enforcement. That's
right.
What a lot of us try to do. It's that one interaction. You go 20 years and you really, really genuinely help one person. Really make a difference, in 20 years is worth it.
It is.
I would hope it would be more than one, but if it's only one, that's the same.
Well, you're a man after my own heart. I always say the same thing. I say if I have to speak to 1,000 law enforcement officers to get that conversation or that result with one, it was worth speaking to all 1,000 of them. Absolutely. Yeah.
And do you do the same? Are you guys like do the same thing, or do you do something different?
No, yeah, we do the same.
So it's under the same, because I know.
2 different channels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, well, we appreciate you guys being so decent.
No, and same right back at you.
Nice, you know.
Yeah, right back at you. You know what? And I hope the biggest thing you take away from this is, a lot of times you guys get called, which can go both ways. A lot of times you guys get called to a call. Now, the person who made the call to 911 could have sensationalized a little bit, right? Your dispatcher might be a little busy and it might come across a little more urgent than it really. So you might be cherries and berries flying, like they say, you know, run into it, get out with this presumption that there's something horrific going on, and you're all in that mode and you're ready to go when it's not. Yeah. So I always just suggest, you know, and I'm not telling anybody how to do police work, but don't forget about the peripheral view. Don't forget to get the full picture and the totality of the situation before you march into something and assume somebody's doing something wrong just because somebody made a phone call and then somebody else translated that phone call to your radio. That might not be the case. So, but I appreciate you guys. I do. I really appreciate you inviting us in and that kind of thing. And like I said, I just hope that you'll honor your oath and stand up for what's right. And sometimes that's not easy. But you'll be doing your own kids a favor, you'll be doing my son a favor, and you'll be doing your officers a favor in the long run. It might not seem like it that day, but you know, we all have to be held to a standard.
I agree.
And I thank you guys for being who you are and how you are. Yeah.
Enjoy. I mean,
yeah, we'll just take a quick walk through and then we'll be out.
You guys got to go and
cool.
So.
Yeah, questions, give us a holler.
Well, thank you so much. And say hello to Sergeant Schmidt for me.
We'll
tell him there was. Have a conversation with him. Just let him know there was no hard feelings. I hope he didn't have any.
Okay.
But I think it was a very productive video at the end of the day. And I hope you guys watch more of our stuff.
Definitely will do.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks. Oh, guys, just real quick, that's what it's all about. Again, you know, I'm just going to preface it by saying those 2 officers could be completely full of it. I don't think so, though. I don't think so in this case. But you never know. You know, who knows? Maybe they are good guys, and maybe some of this conversation will trickle down somewhere at some point somehow. So that's why we're here, and this is why we do what we do. Here's the detention area. And my grandfather gave me some excellent advice when I was a kid. Stay out of jails and hospitals. So I'm giving that advice to you, especially you. All right, so let's go out this way. These guys were cordial. No need to stick around. Well, all right, guys, I'd have to say that went well. Obviously, they knew who we were. But that's okay. I think we had a good conversation. I think it was some good dialogue back and forth. And hopefully it'll turn out to be productive. I think it will. But please do us a favor. Chime in the comments and let us know what you think. And if you appreciate these guys here today, feel free to give a call. I'll leave the phone number in the description and just let them know you appreciate the professionalism and courtesy that we were given today. And you know, you hope that that flows through all the rest of the officers here and everything they do. You know, I'm being optimistic, but that's what we get. That's what we aim for. Always like to take a moment to remind you that if you like our videos, you like what we do, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. All that stuff helps our channels out tremendously and doesn't cost you a dime. It helps our channels out by stimulating the algorithm on YouTube and gets our videos out to more people so more people can enjoy them and hopefully learn from them. I know I'm learning something every day here. And I invite you to do the same thing for Watching the Watchman. He's doing great and coming up, and you can expect to see some good things coming from him. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. So coming to you from the Justice Center in Converse County, Wyoming, here in Douglas, Watching the Watchman, Amagansett Press. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Out.